Today is all about webhooks because it's our newest feature on the platform, and so it's just been released this week. We have a really cool web use case to discuss, and we'll just show you how webhooks work in the new context on the platform. So we have a quick presentation. We'll show you how it works, and then it's just an open discussion. Feel free to jump in the conversation if you like.
Exactly. So thanks. I'm gonna quickly go through the agenda. As mentioned in the previous community meetings, we were waiting for these webhooks from, I don't know, the past 2 months or something like that. And what other way of starting a new year than starting the year with webhooks? So firstly, as part of this demo, we are going to show you how to quickly use webhooks, how to set them up. It's not going to be something complex. It's going to be something quite straightforward. We want to simplify things, just walk you through. Then we are going to show you some interesting use cases. Over here, probably it's going to be a bit more complex, but please bear with us, ask questions, jump in. Of course, we are also going to showcase, and Mihai probably is going to help us with showcasing some new actions. And at the very end, upcoming features, a bit of roadmap talks, and the Q&A session at the very end. The thing is, from my point of view, feel free to jump in at any point in time. And additionally, let's jump and see how to set up webhooks. First of all, I think it's important that you can see my screen pretty well because I'm going to split it in order for you guys to see what I'm doing, because I'm going to work in multiple stuff. So if you don't follow something or don't see something, just let me know. So yes, webhooks are here and they can be found under the automation tab in webhooks. And the very first thing that I want to show you is how to set up webhooks. We are going to set up webhooks with Jira. So
one question, Andrei.
Go ahead.
Why do you need webhooks?
Definitely you need webhooks in order to be able to trigger processes from third-party applications to keep data in synchronization. So actually, as you will see later on the screen, this is the feature that will allow you to move data from one platform to another by using PROCESIO in the middle. So that's, in my opinion, one of
May I add something? Seamlessly.
Seamlessly. That's
yeah,
a good
that's
way
the word.
That's the good way of putting it. So as mentioned, it's going to be very simple, the workflow that we are going to do, but the use cases are limitless. So don't forget that. Keep that at the back of your mind. All right, so I'm going first to split my screen because, as mentioned, I'm going to use Jira in order for setting up this webhook. So as you can see, I'm in a Jira account. I can start from a Jira home screen, so you can also easily find in Jira how these webhooks are set. And in PROCESIO, from automation tabs in webhooks, you just need to hit create webhook button, and you will be prompted with the side panel where you need obviously to give your webhook a name. So we are going to name it community webhook. And in Jira, we need to set this link for webhooks in order to receive the payload. So in Jira, I would have to go to system, webhooks. Just let me scroll a bit down. And I need to click the create webhook button. Obviously, I need to copy and paste the URL from here to here. I'm also going to give it the same name so I know how this relates to each other. It's just for me to simplify stuff. And now I need to mention in Jira what should trigger the webhook. I have, I don't know, a lot of events, like from creating an issue, updating, deleting, creating a new bug, adding attachments, you name it. So it's a lot of things that you can select. In this case, we are going to select something simple. When we create an issue, we want this to trigger something in PROCESIO. So right now, what I have to do is click create. The webhook was created in Jira. And now, in order for me to receive the payload back in PROCESIO, I need to start listening for the event. Over here, you have a message. Please read it. We are not going to read the message right now, but in order for me to receive the message, I have 5 minutes at my disposal, and I need to simulate the event that I just configured in Jira. So I'm going to simply go to Jira, and we, as you remembered, we checked the create issue event. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm just creating an issue event. So in this case, I'm going to create a task. The test, and let's give it a second. I received the payload. So it's as simple as that. You don't have to do anything else. Click save. Once the webhook is saved, now we have to configure this webhook in order to use it in a process, obviously. So now I'm going to showcase how to use the webhook in a process. As you probably saw, it took us less than 2 minutes to configure this webhook. It's not rocket science, it's something pretty fast. And in this case, as mentioned, I want us to do something simple in order to trigger this webhook, and then we go into other use cases. In this case, I'm going to simply add an add operation, nothing too special. So let's keep things simple for the moment. I'm going to add the result variable. Result. It's going to be an integer, and it's going to be an output. I'm going to hit save, set the result, and over here we're just putting 1 + 1, and then we have a result. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to validate my process, and now the process is saved. It's done. Now I hope that my process will be triggered. I didn't give it a name. Sorry for that. Next time I'm going to give it a name. But now I will hope that my process, as you can see, I don't have any instances, but now I hope that my process will be triggered by the webhook. But in order to do this, you need to set the webhook. So I didn't do that. I need to set the webhook. I need to select here community webhook and add a rule. Add a rule to it. In our case, as you can see, we are creating a task. So I'm going to select here issue. Just give me a second.
While you add the issue, I want to add something. If you do not set a rule, then all the events are going to execute the process.
Exactly, but we want to do it more professionally. So over here, I'm going to set the webhook. If the payload equals to task, then the process is going to be triggered. So I'm going to hit save. Now my webhook was set. I have my my additional set. I'm going to hit save again on the process. Save and validate. And now we are going back to instances. We viewed the instances, nothing happened, but we didn't create a task. So now we are going to create a task and see if something is going to be triggered in PROCESIO. Task test. Let's give it a moment and hit refresh. And as you can see, creating a Jira triggered my process. It's a successful. We did only one addition, so 1 + 1 is 2. This is what we did with the webhook. It's not much, but now we are going to scale it and move to different use cases. I'm going back a bit to my full screen to present to you verbally what we are going to do, and then we are going to jump and show you these use cases.
Let's do something more complex.
Yeah, we are going to do something more complex. So the first stuff that we have 3 use cases over here. So we are going to start small. We are not going to start big, as mentioned, step by step. Now we know how to create a webhook. We know that the webhook can trigger a process, but we also want to do something with these webhooks. So the first use case that I did was, I'm using Jira. Sometimes there are bugs created. People forget about those bugs. They never do them. And I want management also to be aware of the bugs that are being created in Jira. So a quick way of doing this is to communicate these bugs via your chat tool. So I thought, okay, whenever a bug is created in Jira, I want this bug to be sent via the chat tool. And additionally, because at the very end, like let's say of the day of the week, I want to have a record of all these bugs. I also want to save these bugs into a spreadsheet software and be able to discuss them at a later stage. Okay, so this is the use case. So remember, when we create a bug in Jira, we want to alert people via our chat tool that the bug was created in Jira. That's the simple. Additionally, we want to add them in a spreadsheet software. So I'm gonna show you how such a process looks like. We already built it. Simple as that.
Wow, that's complex, man.
It's as simple as that. Is I have a webhook, exactly what I showed you at the very beginning, namely listening for the event. And then I simply configured my webhook with my process with two call APIs. One of the call APIs is taking from the payload that's received via webhook. And this API, what actually does is sending a message to our chat channel. And the other API is writing in a spreadsheet the bug that's what's created. Now let's test and see how this works in action. Let me find quickly my river channel. And again, we are going to split screen. I think this is the best way of you depicting what actually happens. So, and I need my, this is the channel where we expect to get an answer. And then I need my Jira. Sorry for this. I need my Jira. Just give me 1 second. I have my Jira. I have my Jira right here. So what I want to do now is create a bug. When I create a bug, I will be alerted on the other channel. So I select bug. I hit, and I expect here to receive a bug. I received a bug. I can open it. The bug was created in Jira. I was alerted via the chat tool. And additionally, this bug demo 122, which we named bug community update, was written in Smartsheet. Just give me a second to refresh. This is the bug community update. Sorry for this, I don't want to do this. I also have a link. So at the very end of the month or something like that, all these bugs will be listed into the spreadsheet software, and I'm gonna have a central view of all the bugs. Everyone is in line and so forth. I'm not sure if there are any questions so far or if everything was clear. Probably I might have moved a bit fast, I don't know.
I want to make something clear. We're just showcasing like Jira, River, Smartsheets. Just those are just examples. You can use basically whatever software you're using within your company or for personal interest. Those are just examples.
Yes, and right now I'm going back to my presentation because I want to make things a bit more complex than this. And namely, now we are moving to use case B. And now we are using our messaging tool in order to give commands and write and open or create Jira bugs. And I want also to show you this process and how it works. And then I'm going to demo live how this works. And obviously, in the case that we are going to create a bug from River, from via chat, we are going to create a bug in Jira because we previously set up the other process. Every time we are going to create a bug is also going to trigger the previous process, namely A. But you are going to see in a second what I'm talking about. So let's go back to PROCESIO. And then this is the flow that I'm going to demonstrate right now. Again, I have a webhook. This webhook was configured from River channel This is our river channel from integrations, pretty fast. You can configure over here custom credential, custom integrations. You can add stuff, exactly what I was showing you at the very beginning of this video for creating a Jira webhook, a Jira integration. So what this process actually does is when I type something in this channel, river commands, it is going to create a task or a bug in Jira. And you will see that you will see this from the process, namely the first part of the process is to map what's being received via message to a variable. After mapping what's being received, I'm going to have a decisional. And this decisional, what actually is doing is choosing if it's a bug, then it's going on the upper branch. And in the upper branch, I have a call API that simply creates a bug ticket in Jira. The second part is if it's a task, and if I type Jira task over there in River, it is going to create via call API a Jira task in Jira. So let's try and test this. And now I'm going to move again a bit my screens. Hopefully I'm not going to lose you. So right now, as mentioned, I have to type over here Jira bug and then something, or Jira task. Sorry?
Hello.
Hello. Nice to have you. I don't know if there was a question or something. Otherwise, I'm moving forward. We can.
No, I'm joining now.
Oh, welcome, welcome. All right. So as mentioned, I'm going to type in Jira, in River, the fact that I'm going to create a bug, and I'm expecting to have something here. So first, let's create a task. I'm gonna hit send. And I expect here to receive, just give me a test community. I received the ticket. This didn't stop here because remember we set up, whenever we create a bug in Jira, we set something up, namely to write in the spreadsheet software, but now I created a task, so nothing happened. And also to receive an alert on the other channel demo. So let's create a bug and see what happens. I expect here to receive a bug. Okay. I received testing bug, exactly the same name. And I was on the other channel alerted with a link to the bug that was mentioned previously. And also if I go to Smartsheet, I expect my testing bug to be also written here. So going back to my original presentation screen, these were linked. And in other words, what I want to emphasize over here is the fact that just give me a second. I want to go into full mode because this deserves a full mode view. I want to mention that what we presented over here kind of shows that PROCESIO in the middle can integrate different third-party software. In this case, we integrated Jira with River and with a spreadsheet. And by triggering something from River, we also triggered some other event happening in Jira, and also not only in Jira, because Jira created another link to the spreadsheet software. So you can have PROCESIO in the middle acting as an intermediate between all your data flows and keeping everything into synchronization. This is the point of the demo that I want to emphasize today, and I hope I managed to do that. I'm not sure. Is there?
You did a great job, Andre. You did a great job.
Thank you, and I hope in any case, if there are questions or if there are people looking to do some integrations like this, there is something that I forgot to mention. our teams, and not only our teams, but everyone involved at PROCESIO are trying to keep the documentation up to date. And we just released webhooks. And if you go on our documentation site, you will be able to find how to configure exactly what I showed you today. You are going to be able to find it step by step, how to configure a webhook. You saw it took us 2 minutes to configure it at the very beginning. And this is written step by step. So it won't take you longer than 5 minutes to go to this documentation and configure a webhook and do those integrations that you are longing for. All right. Sorry, let me find my presentation slide again. And if there are no questions at this point, I would like to move to something new, namely some new platform actions. Okay, no questions. Mihai, are you going to take over the screen sharing in order to show us what you cooked over there with the export?
Maybe there's a question. There's a question from Christian on the chat. Do you have the intention to build standalone apps to be part of PROCESIO, of the PROCESIO environment, like actions, follow-up, documents, design, management, etc.?
All right, that's a good question. I'm not sure if Mihai wants to take it. Otherwise, I'm going to.
Yeah, I want to take it. It's
okay, go ahead.
A very good question that I want to take. So the straight answer, Christian, is yes. We want to build PROCESIO so that it becomes an application building platform. We're even preparing actions that are building documents based on templates, and we're going to release them in February, very fast. And we're going to have a community update about that as well. And also we are working with partners so that we're integrating e-signing companies that are going to allow you as a user to sign documents and create automatic flows with all sorts of documents. Besides that, and probably in the second part of this year, we're going to introduce also UI building tools, so that you would be able to also create user interfaces, to create flows, to create forms, to create apps. So this year for us is very exciting, and we're going to deliver a lot of very interesting stuff.
Thank you, Mihai. And as I think that answered the questions. If not, please feel free to follow up with other questions. What I want to emphasize on is the fact that I think in your comment, you mentioned something as documents designer. As you will be able to see on the very last slide, this is something we are cooking. It's on the roadmap. It's going to be there.
On the closed roadmap.
Yes.
Cool. So if there are, you're welcome, Christian. If there are no other questions at this moment, I would like to take the share screen. Great. Thank you. 1 second. I need to.
We have extra questions.
Julian, could you make me a host or something?
I just did. Yeah. It should work now.
Meanwhile, I will answer to this new question. If there will be an extra feature, this extra feature will cost, the document generation capability will cost, or it will be embedded. It will be embedded and by default available to all the users.
With no additional cost.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. So now, as I have the share screen, please confirm that you have my screen. You see my screen?
Yes, we do.
That's a monster flow right there.
Cool. So I have two things that I want to show you. One is the boring part, and the other one is the fun part. With whom do you want us to start? Andrei, Marian, Julian?
Let's do the fun part. And
it's always the fun part.
I will do the boring part first, so that you have the patience to stay and look for the fun part.
I want the fun part.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is in this part, I want to show you some new actions that we have released. Basically, are those export actions, which you can find them here in beta, export to CSV and XLSX. files. For sure, we have other smaller actions that we have released, but I would just highlight those. And in order to showcase those actions, I have built a process which basically takes data from a CRM, deduplicates the data using an action, which for sure is documented. You can find it at docs.procesio.com. And after deduplicating the data, we're going to export the data in different Excel files, CSV files. Then we're going to add those files to a list and send an email with those lists. So to be very fast and to go to the fun part, as I promised, we're going to very fastly run the process. Run, check the instance. Now we're going to see the process as it flows. We're going to refresh probably a few times because there's some data that needs to be processed here. Basically what happens here, just to explain, some error happened.
That was intended.
It happens. The reason for which it happened is basically that I have no duplicates here, and I have not expected that, just wanted to run it fast. But nevertheless, I will show you an instance which actually worked. What happens here in this process is basically take data from a CRM, in this case is HubSpot. But the cool fact here is that even if you have an error, you are able to debug the process very fast. So as you could see, I immediately understood what was the problem and I can go and fix it. Anyway, I will go to the instance that I ran earlier. And this is basically the instance that I ran earlier. As you can see, everything ran smoothly. And the end result was that basically I received an email with all the documents that I have generated within the flow. So this is let's say the boring part. That's why I wanted to go straight very fast. And now let's go to the fun part. Andrei, is there any action that you want me to show?
Out of my head, I would like to see the export to CSV. That's the one that I want to see, and I think most people would be interested in. Like, we know that there are a lot of.
So the way you configure the actions to export to CSV and to export to XLSX is basically the same. The only difference is that CSV has a setting where you can set the column delimiter. You have here some suggestions. Basically, comma would be the most common one. You set up the data that you want to export. It doesn't matter which is the format of the data, which is the structure of the data. Basically, just put it in there, put the name of the file and the variable to store the file, and that's it. Really, that's it. So just to showcase how a CSV looks like, I'm just going to open the one that I received. Oh. And this is the CSV. Now to open the XLS file, again, just open it. And as you could see here, just making it bigger, as you could see here, this is basically the structure of the data.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So now you have, now in PROCESIO, you have the possibility to export to CSV, to export to Excel. You have the possibility to get file data, read data. So more or less, I think we are covering, you have the webhooks, we are covering. I don't know. Is there something that we are not covering? For sure. Definitely. For sure.
There are things that we're not covering, but we are covering a lot of things.
We are covering a lot of things. This is the point.
And if I may, if there is something that we cannot cover, you can build it yourself with custom action capability.
Yeah.
Okay, so we cover everything. No, I'm just joking.
Exactly. So for example, I just in one of the weekends I built the web scraper. Yeah, that's just for me anyway. So the fun part now, right? Is there anything else, Andrei?
Not from my side, and I think we are on top of the hour. What I would like, please go ahead.
I think it's important to mention that YumiHi triggered this process manually, but the processes can be triggered from any other platform automatically by schedule or by webhook. It doesn't matter. We just
Don't forget the
want
API
it
keys.
manually for demo purpose.
Exactly.
Just wanted to mention that we also have the API keys for triggering SDK and so forth. If I may quickly also go a bit through the roadmap before closing.
One second.
Go ahead.
Andrei, just the fun part, I promised it very quickly. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds. I built here a process. Basically, the moment when we released to production the webhooks, I wanted to tinker with it, and I did basically a toy. The toy is doing basically connecting to a webhook to our chat tool, internal chat tool, and based on we're going to take here a decision. If the message comes from me, then I'm going to give back an answer. If the message comes from other guys, I'm going to give another answer. So basically, if I say here, we are all cool, then the answer is going to be done specially for me. This is great, yes, because that's how I program it. Andrei, if you want to write something.
Yes, that's the QA channel, correct?
Yeah.
Just give me a second so I find my river. Ah,
Now,
Marian took it.
For Marian is going to be a different answer from PROCESIO. Great idea. What does it take for you to do this? So this is a challenge for you from our workflow.
All right, great. I also wrote something.
Actually, Mihai, you just build like a chatbot, like a rudimental chatbot, something simple, but like in minutes, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was really fast, really fast. And as you could see, it's very simple. So that's it. Andrei, now you can continue. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
I don't know how to stop this. But...
Let me see if I can take over the screen sharing. Otherwise, I'm gonna ask Julian to share his screen.
I'm gonna do that right now.
All right. So one of the points that I want to make is the fact that with these webhooks, we open large doors. So that's for sure, in my opinion. There is an extra slide over here, but you can see it's actually showing you exactly the same thing that I was showing over here, namely that via PROCESIO, you can integrate multiple platforms, you can keep data in sync and so forth. I'm not gonna repeat myself anymore, and because we are on top of the hour, I just want to quickly jump to the roadmap. Namely, as you are already familiar with each new release, we are building new platform actions. Some of them were just showcased by Mihai, the exports, and there is a lot more than that. And by the way, we also have some new templates for regex. We are bringing those with hundreds, also worked by Mihai, and so forth. The new actions, please also comment and let us know if you want something special, particular. We are open and we are looking to build the action that you want. Then we are looking to bring a custom credential. Probably at the beginning, it will be used internally for us in order to create multiple credentials at a faster pace. But then we are also planning to release this, wider release this. Additionally, it was one of the questions, namely if we bring new products within PROCESIO. As you can see on the screen, we have the document designer. And I hope at the beginning of the next month, we're gonna have we are planning to have a staggered release with it, and I hope we are going to have a phase 1 document designer that will be ready to be used by you guys. Also very important, we are looking to bring self-hosted PROCESIO for you, dedicated environments. So if you want to have a version of PROCESIO installed on your servers, you can do that. Also, if you want to have it self-hosted or hosted by us, that also is going to be a possibility. We are going to have the dedicated environments. And last,
if I may, we are not looking to, we are actively working on.
Exactly. I'm saying on the roadmap, it's not going to be released yet, but yes, we are actively working on. It's in development. I don't want to give deadlines as part of the roadmap. Not a good thing to do, but it will be soon. Yes, it will be soon. And lastly, also really important to mention, this is a feature that was asked by multiple users so far, namely auto-generation of data models. We are going to start by having data models being auto-generated from a JSON. And then we are also going to bring, but steadily, step by step, we are also going to auto-generate data models from CSV or Excel and so forth. So you won't have
to. I want to add, Andrei, that the first step we already did by delivering the webhook functionality, which already generates the data model automatically based on the payload that it receives from the other platform.
Exactly. So we are almost there. This is what Mihai is willing to emphasize. And indeed, we are almost there.